I've been asked to give you some information on how to create your own journal, and this is something that I've done over Christmas last year, and I've sold them to the buying public, and they've had some really good feedback. Everything from creating what your cover is, to making your inside manuscript, to actually uploading it to be able to sell it and for people to be able to buy it. And it's a perfect time of year to do it in the lead up to Christmas. So basically, you're going to need a few things open. You need an Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing account and Canva or some sort of design software. So if you haven't already got a Kindle Direct Publishing account, as long as you've got an Amazon account, it works the same, so you can use that one. And I haven't opened a new business one, I just use mine, and it still publishes the journals through my name. All of these are my journals, and all you see here is all information that I've input. And then you'll need, in Canva, you'll need your covers. So these are all my covers that I created, and there's actually a template. I don't know if you can see that one. Oh. If I unhide the page, and then there's actually a template you can get directly from Amazon that tells you how big everything needs to be. So I don't know if it'll let me do that. Let me just see if I can add a page and add it. One sec, right. That's why, because it's transparent. Right, so this is the hardcover template, and basically it gives you ideas of what your spine needs to be, how far your text can go on the front, how far your text can go on the back, the space that you need to leave for a barcode, and other design bits. You can get this directly from Kindle Direct Publishing if you just type into Google manuscript templates, and it basically, if you're putting text in these red areas, they're not going to print. So everything you design in here needs to be saved as a PDF or a photo. So this can be a JPEG file as an image to be uploaded as your cover, and then the manuscript itself needs to be uploaded as a PDF file. So you can do any sort of design stuff in here that you want. The inside can all look how you want it to look. If we go back to let me type in here. Go back to my journal. You'll see here that this is the manuscript. So once you've decided on the size, and Amazon also help you with the size, so you can click resize, custom size, and then you can put in what size it actually needs to be based on what the template needs to be. This was for the paperback, and a custom size, because it's American, it's all in inches, so it needs to be 14.11 by 10.42 inches, and all of these pages will be that size. And then depending on whether you want a hardcover or a paperback, you have to adjust that, but it's all in here as a custom size. You see, I've been playing about with a couple there, depending on what I wanted for it. And then your manuscript needs to be the same as well, and you need to map out. So when you look at your manuscript, to map out which needs to be blank pages, how it's going to flow. So in this one and in the final product, I've only got introductory pages on the facing page, not the back of that. So all the backs of the pages are white. But you can add as much text or as little as you want, as long as the text fits in within the margins. And then I've also, so throughout the course of this, as you upload it, you can upload it into their template and get a preview of it. So you can make sure that before you print off 50 copies, that actually all these things fit in the margins. And because if you look here, this is quite what they call a low content book, because there isn't an awful lot of writing, all the styles are the same. All I did was design one page, duplicate it all, and then within every 7 days I do a reflection time. So I just had to count through and make sure that on the 7th day, the reflection time was showing rather than a journal page. And then I went through and researched all the quotes and made sure that the ones that I wanted to use are right to use. One point I will just confirm on though, if this is yours, that's in your copyright, and copyright is like insinuated. This is created by you, however it looks. So I would do a little bit of research if you need that to be more serious, more set in stone, but I've copyrighted this as mine in 2025. So then once you've got your manuscript, my manuscript is 150 pages, and that's kind of standard page length. It can be less, but obviously Amazon are thinking about the printing costs, thinking about how they're getting everything out there. So I decided to go with 150 pages, and I made it a 3-month option. But you could easily make that a 6-month option, just whatever you wanted to do. You just have to make sure that the amount in the page count at the bottom matches then what you put on Amazon. So then once you've got I had about 12 versions of this, 11 versions, to make sure that it was right, to make sure all my margins were right and everything. So I've then got a PNG file for the hardback covers and a PDF file for my manuscript. And once you've got those, you then go back to Amazon. So if I create one right here, you go to hardcover, create hardcover. It'll then ask you a whole load of questions, and it takes you through a process of going through it. So you create a title, who the author is, if you've got any contributors, a description of what it is. Like this can all help with the SEO and the keywords of everything. So you can say, if you've created it, you own the copyright. And then for a journal, you would put a low content book, so a journal or a notebook and a planner, or a large print book, say, and then you put in your keywords, and then you say when it's going to be published, but normally they're the same, and you could schedule the release of it. So once you've got through that and decided all about that, it then goes into the next part, which is the hardcover content. So that is then uploading your manuscript. I don't know if it'll let me do this. So let's see if it'll let me edit the hard cover content. So I've not made any changes, it's just for pure illustration purposes. So you pick whether you want it black and white, whether you want it on cream paper, white paper, this one is 6 by 9 inches. And then you can choose whether you want bleed or no bleed. So bleed is where you go into margins, go into the page's edge in your manuscript, and you can either have a glossy finish or a matte finish. So you've got to upload your manuscript first, and then you've got to make sure that it's ready for uploading your cover. Now, interestingly, when we go back to the cover there, if you go to share and where are we at? Download, what you want to do, especially, so that wants to be a PNG, but when you're doing your manuscript, sorry, I'll go back to the manuscript, go to download, PDF print, and you want to have it best for professional printing, so you get the best quality out of it. And then when it comes to here, it's more likely to upload correctly the first time. So, and you just confirm that you haven't used AI, and then you can launch a previewer. So once you launch the previewer, it'll go. You can go through each page and make sure that your margins are right, make sure there's no spelling mistakes, and basically the template that you put in the first part to get your covers right is actually then what you need to go through your quality check, and just go through and make sure that each page is gonna fit the lines, it looks right, you haven't got any, like any designer would tell you, you don't want a single word on a line, you don't want anything to go outside the lines, you want it to be clear, you want it to be well read. And then these important pages here where people are going to be writing, you need to have plenty of gap, plenty of space, so they're going to have plenty of room to write. So once you go through that, if you click approve in the bottom right hand corner, it'll then highlight any errors. So we'll just exit that there. And then also once you've got everything updated, you're happy with the preview, it'll tell you how much the costs are. So we can go on to the rights and the pricing. Once it decides it's going to do that, right. So ask where you want to do it, what's the primary marketplace going to be, and what's the selling price. So your selling price, it then goes into how much you want to charge. So for this one, I sell it at $19.99. So it'll tell you the printing cost, and the printing cost is £10.90. So anything between £10.90 and $19.99 is my profit, really. So when we work that out there, $19.99, it means that I should have been able to work that in my head, but basically I'm making £9.09 off a journal if I sell them directly. But if Amazon sell them, I make a royalty of £1.09. So you can request, once you've decided on what's going to be best for profitability, you can then put in your price, and all of these are converted. So if you change that to £10, it tells you a minimum you've got to put in. So if I change that back to $18.50, it automatically puts it in there. So I'll change that back to $19.99 so nobody gets an absolute bargain on my journals. So it updates for every marketplace. You can also request, so basically any change to it, any updates you need to do, they take 72 hours to get approved. They might come back to you with issues that you need to sort before they can go on. So it is really quite good and fairly foolproof, because it would always flag up an error if you've got something outside the lines. It doesn't check on a spelling mistake, but everything else is pretty much fairly straightforward to use. And then you can also request a proof, so you would just pay the cost price to get a proof copy to make sure that it all looks right. And that's what I did with my first one. I requested a proof to make sure it looked fine, and then you go to publish. So once you want to publish, let me see if it'll let me do it. So then you can view it on Amazon, you can order author copies. So if I click on that there, you've just got to pick which one. You could order 999 copies. You can order one copy, just whatever you need. And then it just basically, once you add it to your basket, so if I order one here on the UK market, add to cart, it just updates that I actually have ordered one at £10.90. It does sometimes charge you, well, if I've been buying stuff for my son, it does normally charge you postage, but it's less postage, and they come, it says 5 days, but they come a lot quicker than that. So we'll just go back to there, and that's pretty much it. Basically, it can be whatever you want it to be. Being an author, so to speak, and putting together your own journal, your own publications are far easier to do than they ever used to be. And what I found is my branding is really strong, and it's given a really good tool for people, like a self-development tool, so they can do things by themselves. But through me, it's a great starting point without having to invest in really expensive programs, and gives them 3 months of support, and then I'm there if they need me for anything. So it's a great addition to the different things that I'm offering, and it's really straightforward to set up. So I hope that's helped. Let me know how you come on, and if you need a hand with anything, then please let me know. Thank you.